Well, I think that already wearables are one of the biggest parts of the Internet of Things, and most importantly, they work in many different ways on that ecosystem. One is that they're a gateway of data. So wearables are becoming another way of getting the data out of all of the Internet of Things for sensors, for example. The other part is that they're helping making the Internet of Things more efficient, because you have this hopping of data. The Internet of Things devices do not require that much power. And the other one is that they're one of the richest data sources for the Internet of Things, because we're carrying them all the time. Well, batteries for almost everyone working in the Internet of Things and wearables are one of the main parts where you start your design. And they are definitely a limiting factor to it, both from a design perspective and also from a user perspective. So they're a barrier of entry as people get tired of charging these devices. So I do believe, and as we're working on FreeVolt, our technology for ambient RF energy harvesting, ambient harvesting will become a very important part of wearables, and making sure that they become more adopted, because the more you use those wearables, the more features they have, the more transparent they have to become to the users and also to the rest of the Internet of Things ecosystem. So you really don't want to be charging those devices. And so, for example, with our clean space tag, you don't need to charge that. So it has a combination of the two sources that you mentioned, both ambient harvesting, RF in this case from FreeVolt, and also charging a battery. But I think it's massive, because the first thing is that the more devices we have, both from wearables and sensors communicating to wearables, the more data we have. But it's not until we start processing that data that it really becomes valuable. And the way we process the data is also going to help the life of that wearable. So for example, on the Clean Space platform, we're creating so much data, but in order to make it efficient and have an efficient wearable, we need to be able to extract as much information, as much value, as much insights out of that data, and make it basically match what the hardware is doing. So the value of the data is, the value of wearables really comes from the data that they're generating.